What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for the post-match fan show as Spurs have beaten AZ Alkmaar by 1-0. Ange made 9 changes, but we still got those 3 points. Most importantly, the link to call in, if you want to call in and have your say, is pinned live to the top of the live chat right now. So I'm excited to have to hear you come on and have your say. But give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
He was brilliant, wasn't he? Absolutely fantastic, and what a performance! 17 years of age in the Europa League against a good Dutch side. To do that on that at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well, after what we saw against Ferencvaros, is so exciting. It was such a pleasure to witness it, and it's just a sign of more things to come, I think.
More things to come from more.
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
Look, at the end of the day, it wasn't like the best performance in the world, albeit I do think we deserved to win, and I do think it was a good performance, but it wasn't a great performance, and I don't think, we've definitely performed better this season. But 7 wins out of 8, 3 wins out of 3 in the Europa League, pretty much in control of the table, or I don't know if you can say you're in control of the group when there's so many, but we're definitely in control of our own destiny.
In a commanding position, let's put it that way.
In a commanding position. Richarlison back on the score sheet after returning from injury. Bergvall having a good game as well. So many positives to come out from tonight, and the more these players play with each other, the better they're going to get. It's going to mean when we change things up, when we make this amount of changes, hopefully they're going to be more gelled next time. And as well, when they come into Premier League games and more important games, they're going to be ready to go, and they're not going to be on ice. They're going to be more up to speed. So many positives from a Europa League campaign, so many positives from tonight, and yeah, absolutely delighted.
All right, well, we've got a caller ready to go. If you do want to come on and have your say, like I said, the link is pinned to the top of the live chat now, so come on and have your say. Have a chat with us, wax lyrical about Mikey Moore. And please do download SofaScore as well. The QR code is on screen and the link is in the description below. But without further ado, let's go to Mr. First Time Caller, Matty Kushner.
Come on, Matty.
Matty, you still trying to win a game of bingo?
Yeah, can't do it.
How you doing, mate?
One day.
I'm doing good. It's nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, it's good to meet you too as well, my friend. What did you make out of that?
Good win. Great to have 3 wins out of 3 in the Europa League. We could have played better. We had 9 changes from the last game, so we didn't gel in the first half. First 15 minutes, second half, incredible. Then we went off a bit. We got the win. That was the good thing. Yeah,
definitely. And star of the show tonight was our 17-year-old wonder kid playing on the left wing. And Maddison, after the game in an interview, said he thought we had Neymar at times on that left wing, not Mikey Moore. Given how little we've seen of him so far, and given how he played tonight, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've been watching him in the youth for quite a while because he's similar to my age, so I've been following him. I met him a few weeks ago. He's such a nice guy. He's not like a normal young kid. He loves to play. He has his own coach, I think, at home. He literally trains all the time. That 15 minutes from the second half when it started was incredible. I've never seen a 17-year-old play like that. And it's not even like he's nearly 18. He just turned 17. It's incredible. Like, to play like that is amazing.
Yeah, man. Maybe you can start putting in performances like that. Similar age, right?
Yeah. I did think Moore was average first half. I didn't think he was that impressive first half. I think because he's young, he gets a lot more praise than he would have if he was 25. I think first half he was good, but he didn't do anything special, like surprised me and said, wow. Yeah, that's for Moore.
Where did you meet him?
At the game. I stayed after the game, and then I met him, and then like 5 minutes after I met Stell from Tottenham away as well.
All right.
I see.
Which one did you prefer meeting?
Moore. I also met Bergvall.
Yeah, but I mean, Timo Werner started on the left, Moore started on the right today. And then do you think that after that Werner performance that Moore is ahead of him in the pecking order now, because he has seemed to favour Werner over Moore recently?
I would not start Moore over Werner in the Premier League any day of the week.
Really?
Moore should be a bang-on starter for Europa and maybe Cups, but if he's starting more than once a week, that's not good. He shouldn't be. He's too young for that. He's not ready, I don't think. He's incredible. But if he plays more than once a week, we can't do that to him. He's resting. That would be good. Werner, to be honest, I wasn't hating him today, except those 2 chances. You cannot go past those 2 chances. They were awful. It was absolutely awful. He missed those. He just tapped it to keep it. He didn't even care. But his overall play wasn't that bad. He did a few good balls to Udogie. Him and Udogie did link up well. The hate on him, I think, is way too much, but he's an awful player. Like, those chances he missed, his end product is awful.
Richarlison back on the team today, back in the goals. Obviously, he's got the penalty. There was a little bit of a, I wouldn't say scuffle, but a disagreement, wasn't there, before the penalty was taken? Who was taking it? Maddison was clearly the captain and maybe designated penalty taker. Richarlison looked to grab the ball. Richarlison then relented, gave Maddison the ball, and then Maddison decided, all right, Rishi, you can have it. And Rishi took the penalty and scored. What did you think of that incident? And how good is it to see Rishi back in the team?
It's good to see him back. I personally thought that he would be gone in the summer to Saudi or somewhere. Regarding the penalty, I did think Maddison should have taken it. You could see that Ange had asked him. You could see that Ange had asked him to take the penalty beforehand, because when it first was given, Richarlison picked the ball up straight away and he kind of looked like angry, like, I'm taking this. And then Bentancur kind of came over and said, "Come on, just give it to him." And then Maddison took the ball, and then I think he thought, and then he just gave it him. But to be honest, Richarlison probably just told him, "I'll pay you a few grand after the match if you give it me." But yeah.
Maddison said it was a split-second decision. I don't know if you saw his interview after the game, but he said it was a split-second decision because he thought in his mind, he's the one with the captain's armband on. He knows what it's like to come back from such a big injury and, to be in and out of the team for so long. And he thought it would do Richarlison the world of good to get on the score sheet straight away after coming back. So it does show good signs of leadership from Maddison, doesn't it?
100%. I think our team is full of confidence. When we're confident, we play well. When we're not confident, we don't play well. We see that with loads of different players. Johnson, he's not confident. He gets, 15 goals and assists the whole of last season, and he got that already this season. I mean, 7 goals in 7 games is incredible, and he scores for his country. Our team is massive on confidence. I think it'll do the world of good for Richarlison to score that goal. I think that's going to bounce his confidence. But to be honest, he's going in the summer whether we like it or not. I mean, I want him to go. We should have got a David in the summer or anyone like that and got like 50 million for him in the summer.
Do you think Richarlison's definitely off in the summer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who's your man of the match today?
Bergvall.
Bergvall.
He did play very well, didn't he? Yeah.
He was incredible. What I like about Bergvall is he gets played in the midfield, but you never know what he's going to do. He's kind of a mix of a cam, CM, and a CDM. You never know what he's doing. I thought it was incredible. That ball that he played through to Werner, that I missed, that ball was incredible. That was like Kevin De Bruyne-esque. That was very good. I thought his overall game was very good. He's a special talent, and he's going to be incredible one day.
Yeah, I think he's getting there already, Matty. I think he definitely performed probably his best game in a Spurs shirt tonight, I would say, Lucas Bergvall, in terms of from starting the game. Ange Postecoglou made 9 changes today, Matty, and we still won the game. How much good will this do in terms of lightening the load of the squad, and how much do you rate Ange Postecoglou for the way he's managing the squad at the moment?
Okay, I thought Ange was actually pretty good today. I've not been the most big fan of Ange, but I do think he's a good manager. I don't believe in all his philosophies, but what I thought I did do well today is, first of all, subs were very good timings. I thought Johnson's that sub was very good to bring him on at that time. What other subs did he make? That was early. But taking Maddison off Kulusevski, that was good. What was I going to say?
And Sarr came on as well.
Yeah. And you saw, so it's funny because in the last European game, one of their players was sent off in the last 5 minutes. It's quite a common thing that we get red in our games now, whether it's their player. But I saw someone say, I don't remember what, it'd be a great rule in football for if a player gets sent off, they should be banned for the next time they play that team. I think that would be a great rule. So let's say Mohamed Kudus, if he gets a red card against us, he should be banned from when we play West Ham later in the season.
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, Bruno Fernandes will be banned for our game against Manchester United as well. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. It's an interesting rule.
I wouldn't mind that.
Dragoshin. Talk to me about Dragoshin, actually, because we had a bit of a mixed reaction to him here in the studio where we thought he defended well, but on the ball was pretty poor. Did you? But a lot of people giving him his man of the match.
Definitely not man of the match. He was so shaky on the ball. When he got sent off against, can't remember which team it was, but he was shaky on the ball. He lost the ball. I don't think he's. It pains me to say it. He doesn't suit Ange's system, and his agent keeps piping out. That's just annoying. But he doesn't suit Ange's system. He gets caught on the ball quite a lot. He's great on headers, and he's good defensively, but he's shaky on the ball. He lost it today as well. We could have easily conceded from that, and we wouldn't have won the game, and we would have all blamed it on him. You can't give him man of the match, I don't think, after that performance. But he was decent.
Matty, we going all the way? We're going all the way to Bilbao?
I hope to say it, but yeah.
Come on, Matty. Just before we let you go, Sean Slater in the comments says, Matty Kushner, your analysis is much better than your bingo skills.
Thank you very much.
Big up to you, Matty. Thanks for coming on today, my friend.
48 for his analysis.
Great to meet you guys.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming on. Big up to Matty Kushner there. But we'll keep going.
Well, we've got some quotes from Ange.
All right, let's go through them.
Let's go through them. So he was talking about Mikey Moore. He was asked, have you ever seen have you seen many 17-year-olds that are that strong? He said he handles it all very well. I think he has a bit of growing to do. When I look at him, he certainly has in the last 6 to 12 months. But with all these things, rightly so, you're worried about putting too much pressure on players, particularly in today's world. But the thing that gives me most confidence is how he handles everything. I don't think if he does hear what Maddison said about him, it will affect him tomorrow. That's the key thing for us. He's excited. I was excited. I want to pass him the ball, keep giving the ball. Great to see. So really, really nice quotes there from Ange Postecoglou.
Do you think it is important, like, not to overplay? Like Matty was saying, not to overplay him, not to overuse him, not to start him in too many games?
I would say yes, albeit you look at Yamal and he's playing every minute of every game for Barcelona at the moment. But I also think you do that too early on, and then all of a sudden a player can be done by the time they're like in their late 20s, and that's also not a situation you want to put them in. But I think, of course, you have to be really careful. I think Ange said it in his press conference. Like, you do have when you've got young players, it's quite easy to get overexcited and start putting too much pressure on them, and then all of a sudden, they can break down, or all of a sudden you risk harming their development in a different way. So I think we do have to be careful with him. But when he's playing like he was tonight, look, he started him tonight, and when he's playing like he is tonight, it's hard not to want to play him even more and get him even more involved, because you know what he can provide for the team and you know how exciting he is. But yeah, we have to be careful. But if he has the right head on his shoulders, then I'm sure he can get more involved. We're
quick here at Spurs. I guess any fan base is the same, but we're very quick to laud these kind of talents, aren't we? Like last year, we were waxing lyrical about the under-21s. Not many of them have made the step up to the first team this year. But Mikey Moore, it's hard not to get so overboard with this guy, because he's playing. He's basically stepped up. He's missed the under-21 level. He went straight from the under-18s straight into the first team, and he looks like he's just right at home at this level, doesn't he? And it's just so hard not to go overboard with him.
Yeah, and the fact that this is his second start. He's only had 2 starts, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Ferencváros at this one, so he hasn't had a bad game yet. He's actually made a real impact in both his starts, and he's not starting. he could have played like this in like an under-21 game at his age. And you'd be like, oh, he looks good. And this is a Europa League game for a first team, and he's playing like this already after 2 starts. I mean, that's a star in the making, absolute star in the making. And yeah, it's hard to not get excited about him, because when you're seeing what he's doing, you can't quite believe your eyes. A player of that age doing what he's done. I know you get like players like Yamal and stuff, but they're like so rare. They're a diamond, absolute diamond in the rough, and I think we might have one in Mikey Moore.
Yeah, I believe so as well, and I've believed it since last season. But let's go over to our next guest. He goes by the name of Kalik. How you doing, my friend?
I'm great. I'm great. This is the first time I've done something like this. It's a bit weird.
Well, thank you for choosing us, and thank you for calling in. What did you make out of the game today?
And when I think about it, we only scored 1 goal. I remember the last time we scored 1 goal and won the game. We always scored like more than 1 goal.
It's been a while.
It was weird.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Our last 1-0 win. Have we actually had a 1-0 win under Ange?
I can't think of one.
Have we had a 1-0 win under Ange?
We must have done, surely.
I can't think of top. Definitely not this season.
I'm just trying to go back in all the fixtures. I can't.
Was that our first ever 1-0
No, we
win?
beat Burnley 1 in the
Yeah.
FA Cup.
Okay, FA Cup.
I was in the league though. In the league.
Well, this
I
wasn't
saw-
the league.
And yeah, it's true. That's true.
1-0 against Luton.
1-0 against Luton.
Yeah,
Down to 10
that
men.
one too.
Okay, so it's a rare occurrence. It's a rare occurrence. Yeah,
That's
look,
what
you're right. It
handball
was
gives
only-
you.
Exactly, and you're right. It was only 1-0, and it was only a penalty as well. So I don't think we come away from this saying it was the most vintage performance. But considering 9 changes, 3 teenagers starting, what were your takeaways from that game?
And Mikey Moore has to be the talking point. Like that's one of the best cameos I've seen in the second half after he moved to the wing.
Madison said he thought he had Neymar out on that left hand side
Yeah.
today.
It might as well have been Neymar. That was I would say Bergwall too. He was very good in that period. Other than like Madison, and I wouldn't say when there were too many players that had a great game. Honestly,
Well, you got a doggy as well, who I thought played very well at left back today.
defensively we weren't very. We conceded a lot of chances. That's all we always do, but we were lucky. Forster had a great game because it could have easily gone kind of.
Well, Kalik, there's another one, Fraser Forster. You know, everyone, we saw his name on the team sheet. Everyone's like, why is Fraser playing? Why is he playing? And he put in a good performance.
Yeah, I'm still not sure about him and starting our European games, and I do hope he still performs good, but I still stick with Vicario and goal.
Yeah, of course.
Kalik, a second game in a row where, you know, we're drawing at half time. Ange makes a half time sub, and it kind of changes the game pretty quickly. Is we're starting to see Ange really influence games proactively now at the moment.
Yeah, but honestly, we had to change Werner. That wasn't everything he did that game. Apart from that one cross that when Mikey almost scored, he didn't really do anything good. So it was good of him to change Werner. There was no reason to not change him.
Do you think Mikey is ahead of the pecking order than Werner now?
Yeah, after that game, yeah, and after Olderberg's 5-minute cameo too, yeah, I see Werner's spot in the team. I think it's all gone now.
It's finished. It's finished for Team
Yeah.
Tottenham.
And I really wanted Timo to do great. And every game, I'm backing him. I want him to score, but I think it's gone now.
With Son, obviously, you know, being 32 now and us having to manage his minutes, do you envisage Mikey Moore getting more and more opportunities in the Premier League?
I still think Andrew won't start him as much, I don't think, in the Premier League. I think he still is going to choose Odegaard over Mikey Moore. But
Odegaard, good point.
who says no? Who says no?
Who was your man of the match tonight, Kalik?
I'd say Madison. Madison was my man of the match.
And that's a good point. So with Maddison being man of the match, he started today. He came off at half-time against West Ham, played 70 minutes tonight. First of all, 2 questions here. First of all, do you think he started Maddison tonight with a view that he was going to maybe put him on the bench on Sunday? And now after that performance, can he put him on the bench on Sunday?
Honestly, after the West Ham game, after Madison got and they changed Madison, I do think he's gonna start Sarr on because Sarr didn't get that many minutes this game, so I do think he's gonna start Sarr and the Crystal Palace game, but I still think Madison is gonna most of the game start over Sarr. I think he's gonna play a few games with and Kulusevski being in this great form. He's gonna have to. Start over him because Kulusevski.
If it feels up to you, Calic, on Sunday, you starting Maddison or Sarr?
Crystal Palace haven't been great, so I would stick with Maddison personally, and give him. I want Maddison to prove that he should be a part of the starting 11, and like week in week out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Maddison.
All right. Talk to me about the the penalty situation. Because we get given the penalty. Maddison picks the ball. Richarlison picks the ball up. Maddison goes up to him and said, I'm the captain, I'm the penalty taker, it's my penalty. A bit of a little tussle for it. And Bentancur comes over. Maddison takes away the ball. Looks as for all to see that Maddison was about to take it. And then he gives it to Richarlison. I mean, what did you make out of that whole situation?
And I feel like Richie really needed that goal. He did.
Yeah.
And after being injured, I've been frustrated with him actually because he get injuries too many times, and his injuries have been like it hasn't been great. But he really needed that goal, and I hope it brings the most out of him now that he probably will start most of the European games. So I think it was great of Maddison to give the penalty to him.
Yeah, it showed really good signs of leadership, didn't it, from James Maddison? Just because he's been in that situation before, as he said in the post-match interview with him, and it was just such a nice touch of him to go and give that penalty to Richarlison.
Yeah, was that his first game as captain? Because I remember him being captain for a game.
I think he's had the armband on before, but I don't know if he's started a game as captain.
Has he ever started a game without Romero and Son? Essentially, is the question. Yeah. I don't know. Because he didn't start Ferencváros.
Well, there was a period where Romero and Son were injured at the same time, but maybe Maddison was injured.
What, this season?
Last season.
No, because Maddison got injured for 3 months on that Chelsea
maybe
game.
Maddison was injured.
And then Romero was back by the time he came back. And I don't think Romero missed a game, really, from January. So, probably might have been.
Yeah, maybe a start, but Calic, give me your score prediction for the Palace game.
Honestly, but I know this the most spirited thing is going to happen. Crystal Palace is going to turn up when we replay them and give them their first win. But I do think we're going to win that game 3-1 comfortably.
3-1. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. I predicted the same thing. So big up to you, Calic. Thank you so much for coming on. You want to say something?
Great for having me. I'm
Oh, and he's gone.
And he's gone. Big up to you, Calic. Big up to you. But yeah, I just want to guard that Maddison. I just we were all bemoaning the lack of leadership in the squad after that Brighton game in the second half. I mean, that was just a true touch of class from Maddison today. Yeah,
it was. And it was, Ange said in his post-match press conference talking about that incident. Let me get the quote up, actually. So he was asked about it. And he said, he was asked, Maddison said he wanted Richie to take the penalty to get his confidence up. Did you have a view on that? He said, as long as they score, it doesn't really bother me. I thought Madders was outstanding today. He was captain tonight, so creative, caused some problems. I think he sensed in that moment Richie worked awfully hard, and he's kind of got his season started tonight. Goals are important for strikers, so I thought Madders made a great decision to give him the responsibility, but Richie had to put it in the back of the net, and he did that. And that's a really good point, because who does it mean more for if they get that goal? Yes, I know, obviously it's a big moment in the game, a chance to go 1-0 up, so you can't just take it for granted that anyone's going to score. But in terms of, for their season, if Maddison got this goal, obviously it's good for him, it gets his numbers up a bit, but obviously Richarlison being out for so long, and with strikers, however well you play, if you go a long time without scoring, people will look at that and people point to that.
And they have done with him in the
and they have
past.
done with him many times. So, and this season, the fact that he's come back from injury, the longer he doesn't get a goal, where people question when's he going to get back to his best, all these different things. So the fact that he's allowed him to get his goal on his first return, hopefully can give him that little boost of confidence that he needs to really get going this season and when he gets his chances. So I think from that point of view, really nice touch from James Maddison to relieve penalty duties. But I also think it was good that he asserted his authority as captain on the pitch to make sure that Rishi kind of knew his place a bit, but then after he kind of asserted that, he was like, and now you can take the penalty. and I think that was good piece of leadership from Madders, and hopefully Rishi can really benefit from that.
Yeah, I think he will do, and I think he will do. And he saw like there's a bit of a weight lifted off his shoulders. You saw at the end how relieved he was that he did put the ball in the back of the net and he did score, and then it was his goal that got us the 3 points today. So it was an all-important goal for Richarlison. And let's be real, he wasn't great today, Richarlison. I don't think he put in the best display. And Maddison would have already got the plaudits for his display because he was brilliant.
Yeah, he didn't look as sharp as did he, Rishi? Obviously, even then, he still had his moment, like a few moments. I think, first of all, whenever he had the opportunity to shoot, he looked very much off it. Like, his shots were weak, he lacked a bit of conviction. But he still worked very hard. That that you're going to get that, Richie. And the pressing, how we play and the way we press. Even if you're not scoring, if you press in a certain way, you can create chances and you can be very effective for the team. And that's exactly what he did, because he created that chance for Werner just from him pressing. So even though he wasn't his sharpest or his best in front of goal, or even in general, his first touch was a bit off and all that kind of stuff, he still was able to, he worked his socks off, and that can be very valuable. So I'm sure his performances will get better and better as he gets more match fitness and as he comes back. But great for him to get a goal on his return.
Charlie Bell with the super chat saying, leaders lift others up. Really impressed with Maddison. That's absolutely spot on, isn't it?
And that's first of all, that's exactly how Son leads. And looks like Maddison is following suit for sure.
Big up to Bobby K as well.
It's Bobby K.
Bobby K.
It's Bobby K.
He says, big up Ben and Sim and everyone in the chat. Where are you, Bobby? Come on and have a word with us, my friend.
So he was asked about Timo in his press conference. He said Timo seemed like he had his head down a lot in the first half. Does he just need that first goal of the season? He said, hard to say. He is definitely down in confidence. You can see that. It's a difficult thing to get out of sometimes. I can feel like a weight of the world is on your it can feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. All we can do is try to support him and keep trying to get him into a place where he feels a bit more confident with certain things. He has played a great ball for Mikey to score early, and if that goes in, that's an assist for him and it gives him a lift, but it doesn't. It happened as well against Ferencváros. He played a great cross in for Will Lancashire and he just missed them, but these things happen. He needs to find a way out of it, because for us in those positions, we need players to make an impact. I thought in a couple of moments he lacked some self-belief that we need to try and instill in him somehow. It's an interesting response because obviously he was hooked at half time.
Yeah.
And we know how he was struggling in that first half, for confidence in front of goal. But I guess it's striking a balance between being ruthless, which he kind of was by taking him off, but also not wanting to beat someone when they're down, essentially, which, if he lays into him, which obviously is not going to help the situation. But I find it interesting that, albeit he wants to put an arm around his shoulder and tell him you're still a good player and like try and get the best out of him, he was ruthless. And he's saying, the reality is, I want to get confidence in him and I want to find a way to get him confident again, but we need players to make an impact in that position. So he's kind of like saying, as much as I want him to gain his confidence back,
we can't carry passengers.
Exactly. And that's kind of, we have, let's be honest, with the chances he's missed, we have been carrying him a bit in the forward line.
Yeah, and that's ever since, Sonny was out injured, and he hasn't been good enough. And I've said it many a time, he can get himself in those good areas. He's got his pace, he can get into and find the space, but he just can't do anything when he gets into that space. And that's the most frustrating thing about it. Last season, when he came in the back end of last season, he just seemed a lot more confident with things, even though he did miss some big chances. He also got on the score sheet and was grabbing quite a few assists last season, but that all seems to have dried up this season.
Well, you say that. I mean, it has dried up in terms of he's only got 1 assist, but played a great ball for Mikey Moore
And Lancashire, yeah.
and Lancashire, as Ange said. So clearly, he's still got something about him. But I think clearly when he's in front of goal, I don't know what is going on in that head, but he seems to have just forget he's a footballer.
I think it's like panic mode because that finish when he was 1-on-1 was literally just a pass back.
I mean, literally, yeah, exactly. So is it a case of when he's going through, he's already thinking about what people are going to say when he misses? He's already thinking about the miss compilations and all that kind of stuff. And if that's the case, then it's hard to know how he gets out of that.
Yeah, and he's only got to the rest of this season at this football club, and then he's going to have to find himself a new club. Otherwise,
well, if rumours be out, it could be to January.
Could be January, and I wouldn't be mad at it if he could find himself a club at January. But what kind of club can you see him going to?
I don't know, but I think he can find a club. I mean, I don't think he'll find a Champions League club, but I still think people will take him, like a mid-table team or whatever. I don't know if he'll be in the Premier League, but Bundesliga or something like that. Some will take him, I'm sure.
Like a mid-table Bundesliga.
He's on big wages, so that's a bit of an issue.
But I think he's going in. He's going into his last year of his contract at Leipzig next year, or is it this year?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, it must be next year, I think.
Yeah. So, but. Look, to be honest, let's not be around the bush. We called it at the beginning of the season. Why are we signing him again? As much as he did a decent job for us last year, was there really a need to sign him again? We all said no, and at the moment, seems to be right. A funny thing from Ange's press conference, he was asked about 3 wins out of 3 in Europe. Have you or anyone at the club thought how many points it might take to reach the top 8? He said, I don't even look at the table because it's too confusing for me. I just think if we keep winning, I'm sure we'll go through.
Yeah. Enough of this over-analysing crap. If we win a few more games.
I'm sure we'll be all right. Just keep winning. I think that's fine, all right?
Yeah.
If we win all our games, I don't know, I'm sure we'll be fine. I don't know how it works, mate.
All right, we've got a few callers lined up, and let's go. He answered the call, people. He answered the call. It's Bobby K. 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 What's up, Bobby?
That's it. My day just got completely better. So thanks for letting me come on before somebody else, because I know their knowledge just puts me absolutely to shame. So God bless you, and God bless the person I'm talking about. I absolutely love you. I know you can see me. Hello. And guys, how are you, man? Another 3 points in the bag, another win in Europe. Not bad at all, eh?
Not bad at all. Exactly what the doctor ordered. 9 changes today, Bobby, but we're still getting the job done.
Exactly. And I don't understand what the frustration is. A lot of people are still complaining about the way the team played and everything. Oh, we didn't finish them off. We should have crushed them, blah, blah, blah. I think we were very lucky that they lost one of their best players very early in the game. Right?
Yeah.
Van Baal going off. A lot of people were already tooting him before the game, saying how fantastic he is. I don't know enough about Alkmaar to talk about them, to be honest with you. But it's from what was going on out there. That what was his name? Poku?
Yeah.
That Poku kid. Holy crap. Where did this kid come from?
Alkmaar.
Yeah, no kidding. Did you guys know him before this?
No, hadn't heard of him before, but I thought he was giving Archie Gray a really torrid time down that side, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was making the boy run a lot, man. But to be fair, he did his level best to try to keep up to him, so he didn't need to be substituted off because he was looking poor. My only disappointment today is, you can look at the team and say, oh, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, blah, blah, blah. We didn't win 7-0. We won at the end of the day. What Madison done was absolutely fantastic. Came over, took the ball first, and then said, you know what, actually, because I saw it in the interview at the end, he even said he had the thought process of, you know what, he needs the goal. It'll be good for his confidence. He remembered when he came back from injury, how the struggle was to kind of get back into form and get that first goal and everything. And he took it upon himself that I'm the senior player out here today. I'm the captain. Here you go, Richie. Go pop this one, and then we'll go do the pigeon together. Well, let's go do it together, baby. I know y'all were doing the pigeon today. Yeah, if you weren't, you should have been.
We were in the studio for sure.
So what did you guys think about the game, boys? You guys were here. You didn't get to go to it today, right?
Nah, we didn't go. We were doing the watch along. But look, I don't think it was the most exhilarating game, but we made 9 changes. It looked a bit disjointed at times, but we got the job done. I mean, the main takeaway today has got to be Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore in that second half looked like a man, 17-year-old man, and he was destroying that fullback for Alkmaar. And with the way Timo's playing at the moment, surely Mikey Moore has got to be ahead of him in the pecking order, right?
I think it's absolutely insane if he's not.
Yeah.
Werner was the only disappointment. He's the only big red flag for me for the entire day. Dragoshin had that one error where Bendikor had to come back and sweep up and clean up for him. Other than that, I don't think he had a bad game. I really don't think anybody had a bad game. I even like the way Johnson came on. He came on with all the confidence and everything, and he was the complete opposite of Werner. You know, Werner head down, looking at the grass the entire time kind of thing. He was trying, but you could see that void in confidence is really, really hurting his game. And it's a shame because I think he could add something if he had the confidence. But that's me. I'm always deluded and behind every player that's got our kid on. So I'm still hoping, you know, like a Johnson, he does a turnaround and he comes back. Maybe he should go on social media and get blasted for a day or two. And that'll just, who knows, man. But I thought Werner was the only guy that was kind of disappointing at all. Everybody else, like you said, 9 changes. What did we expect from a team that's been completely swapped? These guys don't play together on a regular basis. What competition do they face? They're not the starting 11. So they're not going to gel as well. They're not going to do things as well as we expect from our initial starting 11. But they got the job done. And there was a lot of things that I thought they were doing really well. The movement and everything was there. Getting in there. It was just that, again, the final third. But we had that issue at the beginning of the season with our starters. So maybe this is just a matter of our B team kind of catching up too and understanding the system, because it seems like our starting 11 is starting to get that a little bit better now. So if these guys can get up to speed as well, that will be lethal. If we can have an A and a B team to take on these competitions and have our A team for the league, things are looking rosy all of a sudden. A lot of the complaints were about the squad depth. Well, how do you have 9 changes with no squad depth?
No, absolutely.
And what does it say about our squad, Bobby, that I think every game that Bergvall, Gray, and Moore have started, and Odebear, I guess we just chuck another teenager there. Like, I think we've won pretty much every game they've started, haven't we? And yes, people say, "Oh, there's only Europa League or it's only this and that," but these are teenagers.
Yeah.
These are teenagers, aren't they? And what does it say about the quality that we're able to put them in from the start in games which are important, because we want to get through these Europa League group games, don't we? This is a competition we all want to win. So these are kind of important games. And what does it say about them that we are able at this stage to chuck them in from the start in these games and get victories consistently?
Well, the flip side to that is people are going to argue that they're being chucked in because we don't have other options, that he's being forced to use them. He doesn't really want to use them, but because of the situation and what's going on, he has to use them. But the fact that he is trusting them and not saying that he has to overbear his starting 11 does show that he has faith in them. So they've shown him something. I know everybody was down about Forster coming out and starting today again. But this is a guy that's a seasoned goalkeeper. We just don't trust him on penalties. In reality, there's other than failing us in penalty kicks, he's done all right. Now I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I was happy when I saw his name on the team sheet. I was one of the first ones to go, why not Austin at least? If we have to give Vicario a rest, why not Austin? To me, I still don't understand why goalies need a rest, but I guess it's part of the contract or something. I have no idea. But I think Forrester did fantastic, especially when he came out.
When you do a big dive to the left, it probably takes you 3 days to get back up, doesn't it, Bobby?
3, if I'm lucky, it's 3. It takes me 3 days if I've got a couple of the kids helping me out get up. Right? I'm not fit and young like some of you other guys that can get up still. Let's put it this way: Jay plays goalie, and when he plays goalie and he dives, it takes me 3 days to watch him get up. Right? So that's how slow motion I am, right? But again, there's a reason I'm just trusting these players, and from the beginning, the way I am, I'm just, if this is what he feels, this is the team he's going to put out, I'm going to back them. I'm going to consistently back him until he doesn't have the job, and hopefully that's in a very, very long time from now. And there's additions coming in January. Vuskovic is going to come in the summer. I think things are looking good. I don't understand why people are still kind of really wanting to be the black cloud. That mentality I don't get, but not the greatest win, but a win.
Yeah, that's what comes with 20 years of false dawns, Bobby, I think.
Well, I said this the other day. Me and Kuva had a show yesterday, and we were talking about this. And it's like, to me, I find it kind of funny that everybody's sitting here bearing down on Enoch and what they've failed to achieve in the last, 2 decades. But we haven't won the league in over 60 years. Isn't that a bigger picture? If we're going to sit here and say that we demand winning from our team, I get it. Some people will say, well, you got to start somewhere. There's got to be stepping stones. But we had the stepping stone in 2008 when we won the League Cup. Where did we go from there?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I say if we're going to do it, screw it. Go big or go home, or let's properly do a build. And it seems like this is now a build. When you see the youth coming up and then being quality, that's the biggest thing. Gray, Bergvall, like say,
That's what I'm
Odeberg.
saying. The fact we're getting wins shows how good they are, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Spence hopefully will be added to the squad come January, right? That'll be a nice addition. And then maybe we could see Gray play in the midfield. What a bonus that would be if he can light it up over there. Because if he's doing solid in a position that he doesn't traditionally play, and that's not his best position, I'm really anxious to see it. I'm sure you guys are, and a lot of our fans are as well, to see what he can do when he's put where he wants to be.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this kid light it up, man.
I think the future is so bright here at Tottenham.
Lily White, baby!
The future is bright. The future is Lily White, and I think a lot of our rival and the fan bases of our rivals are really sleeping on that, and they're still clowning on us. They say you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. I can't wait till it clicks in their mind, because I really believe that we've got a big future here at Tottenham. But looking forward to the game on the weekend against Crystal Palace. Maddison obviously had a really good performance tonight. Got taken off at half time last week against who was it against now? West Ham.
West Ham.
And my memory's going like yours, Bobby. We're getting old.
At least you still remembered.
Yeah.
I was just playing along until you said it.
Who did we just play? Bobby, you remember the team we just played?
Does Maddison start on the weekend for you?
Who did we play yesterday? Oh, it was today. Oh, sorry.
Does Maddison start on the weekend for you, or does Psar, who came on and had a brilliant performance, start?
Honestly, I think Maddison starts, and Star again stays for the extra legs that we need, because I think he learned a lesson from Brighton that, and we've seen Maddison kind of drop off in the second half a few times. I think he's a first half player, and he'll put in all the work right then. He can kind of ignite us, hopefully lead us to a couple of early goals. And then when we need to shut things down and really control that midfield, you put the guy with the legs on. And that's where Sar comes in. So I think that combination, he's kind of using it and it's working. So why break a winning pattern with that? That'd be my preference.
Well, he was brilliant tonight, wasn't he, Maddison?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. And on top of that, just the captain experience and the senior player experience he showed by turning around and saying, you know what, actually go take this. I'm going to take it. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. Here you go. I actually really love that. That was because I still remember Chris is a big Richie fan. He really, really is. He's hoping he scores. He's hoping he does well and everything. He loves the pigeon dance and everything. So he was well pumped up. And I was glad to see that moment. Hopefully it lifts this guy. And, who knows? Maybe we see Solanke and Richie playing together at one point. Because both of them have the work rate. They're both willing to drop back as well. Right? So does that give us...
I wouldn't bet against it, Bobby.
I'm sorry?
I wouldn't bet against it, in a game that we're potentially... I don't think we'll see it from the start, but I think that maybe in a game where, we're really pushing in the last 20 minutes, I can see it happening, and I think it'll be really good.
Oh, yeah, go to a nice 4-2-4. Throw Sar and Basuma in the midfield. Light it up, baby, light it up. Pound those goals in just the way we want them.
What's your score prediction for the Palace game?
I'm going to go conservative. I'll go 6-1. No, 6-2. No, all jokes aside, we are coming off a game today. Palace are going to be well rested. I know things aren't too great over there, and even Eze hasn't looked that great according to the people that support Palace that I know. I haven't watched them, so I couldn't really comment on it. But I'll keep it conservative. I think we will, now that the defense seems to be getting a little bit better and more gelled. The Udogie coming right into the midfield and kind of going into that cam role still bothers me for some reason. I don't know why. But as long as he gets his ass back to defend, I'm okay with it. I'll go with a 2-0. Nice and safe.
All right. Big up to you,
What
Bobby.
about you boys?
For Palace.
Spoilers for the preview, Bobby. We don't want people to watch the preview tomorrow.
Just whisper it to me.
Spurs win.
I'll watch it on the preview. I'll see what you guys say, and we'll see who was correct.
Big up to you, Bobby. Thank you so much
Much
for
love to
coming on
everybody.
today,
Big
man.
up to the chat. Remember to hit that like button, guys.
Exactly.
Big up, Bobby.
Listen to the man. Listen to the man, Bobby K.
See Bobby K.
But let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. We have got Ash Matic in the house. Ash Matic, how you doing, my friend?
Yes, people, I'm blessed and I'm good. How are you boys?
Yeah, man, we can't complain. What is it? 7 wins from our last 8 games. Should be 8 from our last 8 games. Let's be real. But today, Fraser Forster in goal, Ben Davis and Dragoshin, who, by the way, after Coventry, they said these 2 guys can't play in a back 2 in an Ange system. They're going to get eaten up alive. Well, we kept a clean sheet today.
We did indeed, man. Let's start with the positives, because I think there were some positives. Bobby's already touched on it, so I don't want to go too far into it. And when you're swapping one team for another that don't regularly play with each other, and they've got a few youngsters that need to blood in together, you're kind of thinking, what type of performance are we going to get from this team? And we got the job done at the end of the day. We got the job done. It might have not looked pretty on the eye. And we had to get a penalty. So it's not like we created like a ton of chances at home in front of our home crowd. But nonetheless, I think it did very well for those players that were trying to push into the first team. Give them experience as well. Players like Archie Gray, players like Bergvall, just giving them more confidence. It might not have been a scintillating performance from the 2 guys, because I just personally think Archie Gray at the right back, he had a lot to deal with defensively against the young Black Don. So I just thought, wow, you know what? It is what it is. You know what I mean? He got cooked a couple of times, lads. I'll be real. I can't even hide. He got served. I'll be real. But
Ash, talk to me about Mikey Moore, though, bro. Mikey Moore on that left-hand side in the second half.
Mikey!
I mean, Maddison said he thought he was playing with Neymar for a second.
Well, we could go ban for ban, or we could go M for M. Mikey Moore, listen, it's crazy. His close control, that's the reason why they're comparing him to well, he was joking obviously about Neymar, but that's the reason why that joke came about, because I think his ability on the ball, some players, they push past the player when they're dribbling, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then they dribble, and then they run onto the ball. Whereas Mikey keeps it close to him, and so it's unpredictable. You don't know which way, if he's going to go left or if he's going to go right. And that's what makes him dangerous. He can do a pirouette, go inside, and then you might want to link play or not. Actually, I can do it all by myself, because there's one point, which is going around at X at the moment, he goes past like 3 or 4 men. Do you know what I'm saying? Then he obviously hits it across the box into Johnson, and then obviously that shot's blocked. But yeah, what a performance it was from him, and it's so exciting. The whole stadium, he's one of our own. He's one. Imagine him hearing that. He must have been overly gassed for that. So
if he was like a £50 million signing playing like he did tonight, we would be like, we just like, what money well spent. He's probably doubled his price.
Yeah.
This is a youth product who's 17. Like, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? And how good is it that who are able, I mean, also, what does it say about these young players that were able to start 3 teenagers tonight in a team which had 9 changes and was still able to put a performance to get over the line? Does that not just go to show the quality we have? Because we're playing, in Europe, these are tough teams, these are good teams in their own right, in their own league, and we're playing teenagers from the start, and we're getting over the line.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to start off with the positive, that we did make the 9 changes, and we did blood the youngsters in. But at the same time, I don't think the performance was flawless from the youngsters. Like Bergvall, I had high hopes for. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, he looked technical, and at one point there was an argument. Let's be real. Where we'll say Bergvall should be able to take Maddison's shirt. Now we're saying, look, I don't know if that's the same kind of energy we've got now. I think there's levels to this, and I think there's a bit of a drop off between Maddison and Bergvall, and rightly so, because he's gonna have to learn that craft. He's gonna have to get. I think it's his decision making on the ball sometimes that lets him down, for me, and I think that's the reason why we looked a bit flat in the midfield. Other than Maddison, he was the one that had the goal. He was the one that was the creative spark. He was the one that was trying to make things happen. When it was Bergvall, for me, he was a little bit too safe. I wouldn't mind, as a young guy, he's trying things and losing the ball by trying things, if that makes sense. So like he's trying to pass through the eye through the needle, or he's trying to carry the ball into dangerous areas but losing it. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind that, but I just felt like it was quite safe. Do you know what I mean? And he lost the ball a few times just through, like I said.
But on the flip side, Ash, first of all, that Werner chance in the first half, he played it beautiful outside of the ball, outside of the boot pass from the halfway line. He also won the penalty as well with the late run into the box and got fouled. So this is an 18-year-old kid. If he's still impacting the game in those kind of ways, that's still a positive thing, isn't it?
No. Like I said, I'll start with the positive, but then I said, look, come on, we all said it. Like, you might take the shot off Manners, and I just said, look, he's just not that level yet. Do you know what I mean?
He's an 18-year-old kid, Ash, isn't he? And
I
felt like before.
Reverse it now, like, no, we're not doing that. We can't reverse it. He's 18.
I never said he should be above Matic.
No. There was people. Okay, not you. All right, but there were people in the fan base that were saying, like, and people weren't combating it. People weren't saying, no, it's not true. You can't say that. There were people saying Maddison might have to get dropped for Bergvall. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what it is, Ash? I think like before he got taken off after the 7th minute with that Dragishin red card, I felt like he was doing the things that you were saying. And then after that red card, I feel like he's playing within himself a bit more since then. But I think he responded today in a different way.
I hear it. I don't know. I don't know if it's my expectation of him because I know what he can do. And like since he's been playing, like in the friendlies, for me, he was doing everything that I've been speaking about. But now it's coming to the actual games. I'm not seeing the same risk. Am I making sense? I'm not seeing the same boldness. And when you're in that midfield, you need a bit of guile. We've already got an engine in Sarr. Like, when I'm talking about different profiles, Sarr fits that box to box. Do you understand? But then we need another creative player if Maddison, like, for whatever reason, drops off or just to push him. And I thought when he was in the side, I was like, Maddison's actually playing better now because Bergvall's breathing down his neck. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was for me. I was like, finally we've got competition. But I'm looking at it now and I still got high hopes for Bergvall. I'm not saying like we have to be allowed to critique, lads. Like I don't want to be like people say, what's he said about Bergvall, blah, blah, blah. I'm a fan of Bergvall, people. I'm a fan. I am. But I'm
going to send this clip to Sweden. They're going to be on your case.
Brother, do that. I'll come to Sweden. I'll come back. Everyone in Sweden. We'll have some Swedish lasagna. It's all right, man. We'll link up. But I'm just being honest from what the expectation I had for him. But Kulu, on the other hand, when Kulu came on, you just saw the difference. What are we doing here, lads? What we doing? You know what I'm saying? First time pass. Boom. Ball goes into feet, he can hold it up, carries the ball up the pitch. This is what I'm talking about. There's levels to this, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Bergvall's 18. What do we, it's not like. I think for an 18-year-old, he's been pretty good. Do we
want to win Europa? Yes or no? Do we want to win Europa? This is what I'm saying. So
yeah, 3 wins out of 3, bro.
All I'm saying is, I want Bergvall. I want to see the Bergvall from preseason. That's all. Like, I don't know.
It's coming, Ash. It's coming. It's coming.
Because I don't want to see like the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
You're
making me feel like the bad guy right now.
You are the bad guy.
The Jedi Hood is like, all right. Look, let me calm it down.
You're going to get rushed on the street. That guy said Bergvall.
Archie Gray, another one. For me, defensively, I wasn't too happy. But again, some people might say he's not a right back. On the ball, again, when he did invert into that midfield, because that's what Ange wants you to do, I don't know. Like, for me, I just need to see a little bit more. I do want to see him in midfield, but I'm starting to question Ange. Is it Ange or is it Archie? I don't know, because he should be given a chance in that midfield slot. Do you know what I mean? But is he better than a Bentancur? Is he better than a Basuma?
But actually, last season, he played most of his minutes at right back. So it's not like it's a position.
Are we saying he's a right back?
No, I'm not. He's 18, so midfield is a very physical position, isn't it? It's a position you need to have proper physicality and discipline. So I guess we're developing him until he's ready to play that role. And obviously we got Bentancur and Basuma there, so we know it's a role he can play to a good standard last season. And then then later on he'll come a midfielder.
But do you think like we could have loaned him out to develop him as a midfielder? Or do you think that is the right decision to keep him as a backup right back or backup left back?
I'm fine with him. I think he's been all right. I mean, Poku gave him some trouble, but let's be honest, how many chances did they actually create down that side?
Look,
much as he gave him trouble.
if I'm going to be real, I'm looking at Spence, and I'm thinking Spence for me is better on the right as a right back than him, and he's better as a left back as him. That's just me. I don't know. Every Spurs fan is entitled to their opinion, and you could call me out if you want. But I think, and Spence got left out Europa. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that was the plan to give Archie the minutes, and that's what they wanted to do. And I say fair enough. But just me, from what I'm seeing, and I could be wrong, guys. I put my hands up. I could be wrong, but I just think the expectation, maybe it's my expectation, my bad, innit? I just had a different level.
You're bad, bro.
I put up my bad, innit? My bad. I just thought 40 mil, maybe because of the whole Brentford situation, we had to.
He just wants 3 Amals in the team. That's it. If we're not
Listen,
getting 3 Amals,
you got to give these players time, Ash. This is the highest level that these guys have ever played at.
Broski. Like, we're not gonna do that. I'm just saying. If I'm gonna critique, are we allowed to critique? Are we allowed?
We're allowed.
I'm just talking about this performance. I'm just saying, right, and this performance here, and this game.
Why do you hate Graham Bergvall?
next week we say Moore didn't even get
Don't
a
hate
goal. Where was Moore's goal? He's so good.
No, I just wanted to start positive, and then I thought, right, am I allowed to critique? Am I allowed to say what I didn't thought wasn't like all that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Me.
I mean,
Like,
if your harshest critique is these players are not totally ready at 18, it's
All
not
right,
like
cool.
the
Can I
most
talk about
harsh.
Richarlison there? Can I talk about Richarlison?
Talk about
You
it.
dare mention Richarlison.
Can I talk about Richarlison?
Yeah, go on.
Like, Richarlison, for me, it epitomizes like quality versus hard work, because you can praise hard work, don't get me wrong, but everyone can work hard. Do you understand? No, I feel like, I don't know, like when he's on
No,
the
no,
ball,
I agree with you. I don't think Rishi had a great game tonight, particularly.
yeah, that's what it is. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, like I'm a Spurs fan. Do you know what I mean? I'm behind the boys, and I get the idea. Everyone in a Spurs shirt, you need to back them regardless. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I just want a bit more for my team, because I don't know. I'm not saying I know what it takes, but I know there'll be tougher tests, if that makes sense. So I think when Solanke's in our team, the reason why we're attacking so well, I think is a lot to do with him.
He's the glue, isn't it? He's the glue in that attack.
I'm saying, bro, now we're on the same page. That's what it is. Like when you see quality and then you see the quality dip a little bit, you're like, okay, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, all right, cool. If you're not good at hanging on to the ball, and you can't, dribble, because like some strikers can't dribble, but in the box, you just want them to be a killer. Do you know what I mean? You want them to be ruthless in the box. Richarlison's movement.
That is like, I don't think Richarlison is.
No, you know what it is with Richarlison? I like his energy. I like the things off the camera. I like him as a person. I like how he supports the club and he sends in messages and all of that. But I'm just being, just for me, I'm not saying for you guys, I'm not saying for other Spurs fans. I'm just saying for me, I wouldn't be mad if, like, we moved on from Richarlison, if I'm being totally honest.
Ash, what about you taking 35 million, 40 million for Richarlison and bringing in Jonathan David on a free?
Jonathan David.
As a backup.
I'm not sure. I'm not totally convinced on David. I'll be real. But you know what? He's young. Yeah, I've got my question marks. That's all I want to say about Jonathan David. I've got my question marks.
We got Will Lancashire sitting there as well, by the way. And
do.
also Diamond Dane is banging them in at the moment.
When Lancashire was like, this again, pre-season, I want to see what he can do in the real game, in the real thing. But like Lancashire's finishing for me, I was like, wow, composure in front of goal, dinks, different type of finishes.
Harry Kane.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I can get excited about that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to go for low-hanging fruit and talk about Timo Werner, but like,
I'm going to do it anyway.
As a professional footballer, you've got semi-pros, you've got the Ryman's League, you've got League 3, League 2, League 1, and then you've got Championship, and then you've got Premiership. Premiership, you've got the top 10 teams, you've got bottom 10 teams, yeah? And then out of that, you've got a top 6. Now, a lot of Spurs fans think we're top 4. Now, do you think Werner, I know he's not our first choice, guys. I know he's meant to be second choice, or not even second choice, third choice. But the fact that he's getting into the team and he's starting affects our ability to attack and be ruthless in that final third, in my opinion. And so for me, all it is as a Spurs fan, I don't know, I could be wrong, but just me as a fan, my expectation, I just want more and I want better. I want what's best for the club.
We all want more. That's
We
for
all
sure.
want more.
We want more.
Mikey Moore.
Yeah, exactly. I just want quality in that final third. So when people say he's the second, but he's third choice, do you know what I mean? He's still getting minutes and he's taken away from players like Mikey Moore, who we want to see more. Or supposing Werner's still in the past January, supposing he's still here past January now, and we get the Korean kid come in. Now, all of a sudden, the Korean kid doesn't get any minutes, or he gets 5 minutes here, but he doesn't get that many minutes because Werner's...
Wait. There's first of all, there's rumours that he might be leaving in January at the moment, Timo.
All right, cool.
But as well, is Ange not acknowledging the problems you're saying? Because he took him off at half time today. He said it after the game today. His guy clearly low on confidence, but at the end of the day, we need players in that position to make an impact in the final third. Isn't that him kind of saying, as much as I feel for him with his low confidence, I need players confident in that position. If he's not going to be that, he's going to be hooked.
This is the type of manager I want. Ruthless. I want someone at that, he's got the needle. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if we are to succeed, and people want cups, 24 years, 25 years going on, and we want to get a cup, we need to have that level of, cutthroat, and we need the quality, not just in the final third. Because for me, in that first half, we did look flat. We did lack tempo. We did look void of ideas. We did look and I like that we have some of these problems right now, because at least the manager can address it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it to say, Spurs are not good enough, or, I like to see things we can improve on, things we can work on, and things in January we can fix. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather this happen now, 8, 9 games, 10 games into the season, and the manager looks at it and says, actually, you know what? This guy stepped up, this guy hasn't. Because that's what it is. When you're working in the top level in any profession, especially when it comes to elite sport, you need to be at that level. That's all I'm saying. That's all it is. And that's why I was critiquing all the players that everyone loves. And I just thought in this particular game, I noticed that the centre-backs on the ball weren't as good as our main centre-backs. Defending, not too bad, but on the ball, I just thought we lacked that kind of progressive pass, or that progressive carry, or that decision-making on the ball. But that's just me, guys. I
asked him the question. I don't know if it was off camera or on camera, but is Dragoshin that guy? Because I feel like the signings that we've made, maybe even Werner, profile-wise, have all fitted the system really well, in terms of what Ange wants to do. But then you got Radu Dragusin, right? Is he, profile-wise, is he the centre-back that we want right here?
Dragushin's a funny one. I think where we picked him up for, he was used to playing in a defensive low block, and now he's having to learn how to play in a high line attacking team where he's a part of a two. Do you know what I mean? And the responsibilities that he's got on the ball, he's gonna have to pick up really quickly. I know he was he in the back three as well, not in the back two?
I think he was a back three for Genoa, but also you take into account his performances for Romania, another low block team, aren't they? Another team like to sit back.
Box defender, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know.
And he was great for Romania, but that's because he does a lot of box defending, isn't it?
That's correct. So that's why you saw him shine in the Euros, and then he's come here, and we defend higher up, don't we? Do you know what I mean? And it's about.
But I actually think he did a bit better in the sense today, not on the ball, but in a sense when how Romero, he's very proactive in his defending. He searches opportunities to win the ball, and when we're pressing and they're putting the ball long, Romero's always getting to that ball first. I think he was doing a lot better with that kind of stuff today.
Yeah, because I think the dynamic between Romero and Van der Ven, one kind of sits, one sweeps, and one is, as you said, more proactive, goes in, tries to go into the midfield and win the ball high up, intercept the play. And I just don't think, profile-wise, that he is that type of player that kind of wins that ball high up. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Do you know what I mean?
I'm saying today, I think he was doing that a bit more today, winning the ball a bit higher.
Do you see? I don't know. I mean, defensively, like I said, I wasn't mad at him. Do you know what I mean? But it was just on the ball. I just feel like he needs to make his mind up a bit quicker, and that's where he was getting caught out, a bit caught on the ball, and then we get caught. Like sometimes we were inviting pressure unnecessarily because we weren't thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. We didn't know what we wanted to do with the ball before we had the ball, and effectively, at one point, I'm like, why are we so sloppy on the ball? Why are we inviting AZ on? Because I felt they were poor. And I thought that we could have taken them to the cleaners if we had a bit more quality starting from the back. Because I think when you play quickly and build up, that's when we look like we're doing a fast transition because we've bypassed their midfield really fast. Does that make sense? So
I think it's a combination of not great quality passing from centre backs, and also you don't have a guy up front who could really hang on to the ball like Solanke could. So it leads to a bit more disjointedness.
This is it. And I think when you defend, you have to defend as a unit, and I think that was slightly off. I think not having Porro as the right back that we normally have, I think he helps a lot with our progression and creativity in terms of like stretching the play, switching the play, balls over the top, adding something a little bit different, even holding on to the ball. I think you can trust Porro, and he helps us. Like there's loads of players that we're missing that when you give them the ball, it sticks to them. And so that's the reason why I said when Kulu came on, it stuck to him. You can completely see the difference. There was one bit when Solanke was in the corner, linked up with Kulu. I was like, oh! And that's what I get excited about. What? You know what I'm trying to say? But when I was watching these, man, I was getting frustrated. I was like, bro, pass it, move it forward. Why are you taking? Certain times they're on the ball, they're just standing on it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's mad. But look,
I also feel with Dragoshin as well, like his passing technique. When he passes it to people, sometimes it's bobbling, or sometimes it's not perfect. It's like a bit.
And now you're having to take an extra touch.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then now the team behind you is getting set. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So then you're like, rah, I got to pass it backwards now. Do you know what I mean? And then there was certain attacking pattern plays. I know that's why I've got to be fair. Like these players don't normally play with each other, but there were certain patterns of play when they've got like 2 backs of 4 or 2 backs of 5, whatever you want to call it. They've got their 2 defensive lines. We look like we were void of ideas how to break that down, especially in the first half. Second half, we started off well, high energy. Mikey Moore was on it for 10, 15 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone got up. The stadium started making noise, energy. And then it felt flat again. Do you know what I mean? It was like, now what? Do you know what I mean? So, but like I said, we got the job done, and there was lessons learned, and I'm all for it, bro. I'm all about learning and what we can do as a team to move forward and improve. Do you know what I mean? Because we will get games.
Man of the match tonight, Ash?
Maddison for me, I would say Maddison. I felt like I like players that are proactive, trying to make things happen. He was one that will get on it, try to drop a shoulder, go past someone, try to pass the ball through the lines or through the eye of the needle. He was like always trying to make something happen, always thinking forward. What can I do to, get into the forward line? How can I affect this team? How can I hurt them? Do you know what I mean? And so for me, and even the leadership, he had the maturity on the pitch of that penalty. He said, you know what? Because he wanted to take it. He said, you know what? I'm better than this. Richie, confidence. Here you go. You've been injured out for a long time. You take it. Do you know what I mean? Richie scored, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy he got his goal, got to do his little pigeon celebration. Do you know what I mean? And fair is fair. But Maddison for me was man of the match.
Ash, big up to you, man. Spurs Kings TV, Spurs Kings TV. Let everyone go and subscribe to Spurs Kings TV. It's so good. The analysis on there is so good that we had to nab him for a tactics show once a week.
Back for Palace, guys. Back for Palace.
Come on.
Awesome, man. We'll speak to you soon, Ash. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Love, man. Love support.
Speak to you soon.
Big up.
And I think that is that for today. Tomorrow is a very, very busy day for us guys. We've got the post-match stuff happening, player ratings and all that jazz, and then it is preview time for Preview Palace away. Me and Sim going to be at the ground on Sunday. And I think Barnaby is back in the studio, much to some people's delight. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, cover you Spurs.